Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and many Americans have been waiting for this hearing. As I go back to my district, Admiral and Ambassador and others, I can't tell you how many times people have said, don't let Benghazi and what happened there be swept under the table. Unfortunately, and the ranking member mentioned this, that in my district, and the vast majority of Americans feel that your report was a whitewash. He said whitewash or cover-up, but that's what people feel. And they feel their government let them down. They feel that American public servants were lost there. And now the review doesn't really address anything. Nobody's been fired. Nobody's been dismissed. No one's been arrested for the murders. I can't tell you how frustrating this is. Do you understand where the American public is coming from, Admiral Mullen?
Mr. Mica, I understand what you're saying with respect to that.
Would you please put the mic a little closer, Admiral?
Sorry. I understand what you're
but
saying.
I'm just telling you how my people feel. So they want us to get to this. Then you look at who was interviewed, for example. You just got through, Admiral Mullen, saying that we seek direction from the President. You sought direction, and the President had to do this.
Mr. Mica, that was what the military got from the President.
But the military is the one that could have saved the day, and the Secretary of State, when you don't have and for 14 years now, we haven't had an Undersecretary of Security, which was recommended. So someone was in charge. Mr. Keel said he felt Kennedy or someone was in charge. But again, no one held accountable to this date. That's the way Congress feels and the American people feel. I tend to differ with you. I'm not the greatest military strategist, but Mr. Isa and I were, in January, we were at least at one post. I know of at least 3 other posts we could have launched an attack. The attack started at 9:45. We might not have been able to save the first 2, the ambassador and his colleague, but the SEAL should never have died. It was 9:45. It was a 5:15 to 5:30 when they died. You testified a few minutes, 2.5 to 3 hours. There is no reason that we couldn't launch from at least 3 locations I've visited and been told that we have in place people monitoring the situation, particular and specifically in Africa and North Africa, and if we aren't, shame on us.
What I said was 10 to 20 hours to get
there. That
there.
should not be the case,
the way
and I was
that
advised as a member of Congress when I visited and sat down at one of those locations that we could launch almost immediately to rescue American personnel or American citizens in danger. So there's something wrong there. Then again, investigating people above. It's all below the lower level, of which nobody, a couple of people temporarily moved, all with pay into other positions. You didn't interview the Secretary of State. She appointed 4 out of the 5 members, is that correct, of the board?
She did.
Yes. And it looks like sort of an inside job of investigation, the Department of State looking at the Department of State. And you had difficulty. Now, again, you testified you didn't have difficulty, Mr. Admiral Mullins, but 2 witnesses interviewed by the committee testified that ARB member Richard Shenick told them that it was a difficult process, that the board was having a tough time obtaining details or context. Another witness stated, I said, Dick, how's ARB going? And Dick said, Ray, it's going slow. We're not getting any details. We're not getting any context.
Well, we got lots of details and lots of
Yes, but we are the Congress of the United States, and we aren't getting that. You just heard the chairman, the delay. We can't get access to witnesses. I had somebody come up to me the other day. I don't know if it's true. They say they're conducting lie detector tests of some of these people to see if they've talked to us. This is the stuff that's going on out there that the American people feel that justice is not prevailing in this case. Again, you didn't investigate if, okay, you didn't go to Clinton. How about the Deputy Secretary, William Burns? Was he interviewed?
We talked to both Mr. Burns and Mr. Knighties, both Deputy Secretaries of State. At the time that we got to them, as it was with Secretary Clinton, we had very clear evidence, full and complete to our information, that the authority, the responsibility, the accountability rested with the people we identified.
They're not on the list, unfortunately, of the ARB. Finally, when Secretary Clinton testified, she said, I talked to the President at the end of the day, but I'd been in constant communication with the National Security Advisor. I guess it was Tom Donilon at the time, the staff told me. Did you interview Tom Donilon?
We did not, because we saw no evidence he made any of the decisions that we in the board were asked by the Congress to investigate with respect to the security, and we followed the precepts that Admiral Mullen has just outlined for you, not to go for the people who didn't make the decisions, but to go, following the will of Congress, to the people who made the decisions, and indeed we went to the people who reviewed those decisions.
I thank the gentleman.
Secretary wasn't involved. I must be on another planet. Thank you.
The gentleman's time is expired.